Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Punggi, a South Korean comedy about a guy who leaves his job behind to farm ginseng in a town called Punggi in South Korea. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 15. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So it's interesting to watch the subtitles and comedy coming out of South Korea. Success and laugh guaranteed. Ha 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 ha. So I think this is a movie. It feels kind of like a TV show. Kind of like, if you remember Green Acres. Green Acres was about a rich guy in New York and his high maintenance wife. They moved to the country because he always wanted to be a farmer, and they're everybody's a whack job out in the sticks, but he's a sophisticated New York guy who wants to be a farmer. So it feels a little bit like that, and then there's wacky characters around him, and he's trying to grow ginseng. Let the ginseng be a hit. That's the stuff they put in Arizona iced tea and a few other things. So it's called Punggi. I'm not familiar enough with South Korea to know what Punggi means in terms of do people in South Korea hear like Punggi? Oh God, Punggi. You don't want to go to Punggi. That's like out in the sticks, man. That's like the boondocks. You go to Punggi. Kind of seems that way. And I think these guys end up pressuring him for some reason. Can't really tell. It's subtitled in English, and I still kind of don't know the plot of the movie, other than he moves out to the sticks to be a ginseng farmer, and he's not very good at it at first. Seems to have all the equipment though. Has a tractor and land, so there's that. His wife seems very supportive. I'm not sure what the problem is. This woman is the head of the village, and I'm not sure what that means. Is that like a position in South Korean villages? Someone's the head of the village? Is that like being the mayor of the town? Because she's not very old. I would think the village elders would be a position, or that the head of the village would tend to be an older person. She seems pretty young, so maybe he pisses off the head of the village and then has some problems. We don't even do that during the holidays anymore. Oh, so maybe they're like too hip for farming. He's going back to the old ways, and they're a bunch of hipsters who want to do modern things because they're trying to modernize Punggi, maybe. The comedic rebellion begins. Whoa! And then you've got a wacky moment like this. This woman like trips and falls and hits her head, so they have like a cartoon stars rotating around her head. Yeah, the lead he seems to be trying. I'm not sure if this is funny. I don't think it would be funny for an American audience simply because they wouldn't get the context. Like this, I think this is a thing in South Korea where they have a pretty girl like promote things, and a bunch of guys show up to just watch her because she's pretty. But it's not like creepy or anything. It's just supposed to be light fun, like, oh, there's a pretty girl over there, I'll watch her, kind of thing. That's right, bro. Is that a saying in South Korea, bro? Or is it like another word? And if it's another word, has that word been in use longer than bro? Would be my question to my South Korean viewers. Is this funny? Is my big question. It's not funny to me. I mean, not for the coming in August, by the way. I guess you could get this online. Something called Eon Talk. They put this giant disclaimer in the front of it, English subtitled. So, do you think it's a little? It's just weird to me. I would watch this movie only because I like to watch movies in other cultures and try to figure them out. I probably wouldn't get to the end of it because it's supposed to be funny, and it would probably get tedious for me, right? Because I wouldn't get any of the jokes, and it would just kind of be the same. They'd be pushing the same line over and over again, and since I wouldn't connect with the joke, it would probably get really boring very fast. See, this is why horror movies do better overseas. See, a horror movie, even if I didn't really understand all the context, I would get it because the monster would come and people would scream and run, and I'd be like, oh my God. But with a comedy, you really got to connect, you know? You got to connect to your audience enough so they go, oh yeah. So, I don't know what it's like to grow ginseng. I sort of know farmer stuff a little bit. I definitely don't know much about South Korea. I don't know what Punggi is. Is there a double entendre there? Like, Punggi to me sounds like pungent. You know, like maybe it stinks. So maybe there's a Korean word for Punggi I don't know about. So my guess would be first act, he quits his job to go be a farmer out in the sticks in Punggi, and thinks it's going to be great, but it turns out to be really hard. He's a bit wacky. His wife goes along. She's very supportive. That it looks like fun, I'll say that. It might be entertaining enough I could sit through. Then in the second act, he comes up against so many people who are against his farming. The farming itself is hard. He doesn't know what he's doing. There's a lot of rocks. The village elders seem to be against the farming. Maybe they're like hipsters. They want to modernize that town. They don't want a bunch of podunk farmers doing farming things. Some other guys, maybe they're mob guys, the equivalent of mob guys in South Korea. Maybe they're just locals who don't like them. Kind of hard to tell. It's a scene in which they do the thing where they're grabbing, you know, you grab somebody's fingers like this, and then they twist his hands back like that, push him down. He's like The third act, I'm not sure. I mean, it's a comedy. It should end on a big comedy moment. But I'm not sure what that would be in a South Korean comedy. Maybe in the end he grows the ginseng, and it turns out the villagers need it for some reason, and he saves the village and then becomes a prominent member of the village, Punggi, and brings back farming, because maybe the village head, the young woman, is corrupt in some way, and he dethrones her sort of semi-accidentally. Even he's kind of bumbling, so I'm not sure. Is there a write-up? No, doesn't appear to be. I don't know if this would be on the IMDb since it's South Korean, but we'll take a quick peek. I don't think so. Punggi. Oh yeah, there it is. Punggi. I think that's the same thing. Oh, they didn't put a plot though. I don't recognize any of the stars, but the director is Park Kyu-sik. Yeah, I think this is the cast. All right. So it's new. Maybe they haven't gotten the translation or what yet. I guess some of these, the ones with pictures, would tend to be more famous, but it's hard to say because it's probably somebody, you know, the movie was probably made already and now it's coming to America in some form because it did well, and they're probably trying to market to the Korean audience here. You know, there's probably a lot of expats, and people who and handful of people who just like South Korean stuff, or they're from there, or their relatives are. So, you know, it would be a small audience, but there'd be something there. Probably not worth for a theatrical release, but there you go. Would I see it? Yeah, just, for the novelty of it. I don't think I could sit through the whole thing, honestly. But maybe if I had a friend who was familiar with South Korea enough that they could explain to me what was happening, that might be interesting. Somebody to sit there and go, well, see, Punggi is this, and ginseng farming means this, and a village elder plays this sort of role in society. I mean, some of it you might be able to figure out from context, though. If you watched enough of these, I would say, maybe if you watch South Korean soap operas, it's tough to watch a comedy subtitled either way you go, because that really takes the punch out of the jokes, I think. Part of it is the delivery, and the jokes can be like on point of very specific words, and sometimes there's puns, and if they're in Korean, you probably won't get the pun, right? Just like people hearing idioms from America or puns wouldn't get them because they can't relate to the context. So, but if you want to check it out, and if some of you want to explain to me some of this in the comments, I'd appreciate it. It's called Punggi. It's coming out in August. And that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on the other sites, the green site, the orange site, and the black site. Got nothing going on this week. It's a free week. It's been a long time since I had a free week. Stuff coming up after Labor Day. So I hope you have a good holiday. I'll be back with more videos. See you in the next one.